Rob, you couldn't have asked for a better restart to the season as a whole, but another acid test on Tuesday night against Bristol. What are you expecting?
It's a little bit another trip into the unknown, a little bit, isn't it? Because we're in that first midweek round, which in itself is interesting. So the first short turnaround from a game, probably the first time when you would expect both teams to genuinely make a number of changes, because obviously we're into the second game of this 3-game block, going from the sale weekend to this midweek game to next week. These are the 3-game blocks that we have to have that element of no player starting all 3 and a certain amount of limited minutes, which makes things interesting. But also exciting. Going to Bristol at any time should be an exciting thing for us. It's a Premiership game of rugby, and I think that's the first thing I said to the lads yesterday. Is just remember, this is a Premiership game. This isn't like moving into a midweek game that's an A-League game or a Premiership Cup game. This is a genuine Premiership game. Yes, it's been played at a different time. We've got to approach it in exactly that manner, and approach it to prepare just as well as we would for any weekend fixture, and be prepared to commit just as much time and energy and emotion into the game as you would at any other weekend.
As you say, it's a Premiership game. It's a local derby. There's first and second at the moment. There's lots on it, isn't there?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's a little bit like anything, isn't it? It's not the game that's going to define anybody's season, but yet there's an opportunity there for points, and the points are what everybody's just looking at the moment. If you're in and around the four places, 6 places, however you want to look at it, and whatever your aims and goals are, every point is precious. For us, having 10 points so far is fantastic. It kind of keeps us on a trajectory that we want to be on, especially with things like European quarter-final coming very quickly. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? After Sunday, when we play Worcester, we'll have already played, 4 Premiership games. It's amazing, isn't it? We see like we're a couple of weeks in, and you're going to be halfway through the rounds. And I think that's what's happening now. That things are coming thick and fast, but things are getting exciting, and it's already getting to that stage where you can start to see the end of the season, because it's only 7 or 8 weeks away. It's incredible, really. And
you would have reflected, no doubt, on Sale and what a performance that was, particularly second half where the side really came through.
Yeah, I think the most pleasing thing was it was just that way we grew as a team. I think what it really highlights, what it really shows, is that you've got to fight and work as hard as you can for as long as you can, and that ultimately the rewards will come, and sometimes they'll come later in the game. I mean, to think, obviously we score a try very quickly. Things looking very rosy, but then after the next 10-15 minutes, it wasn't a game where you're sitting there planning on getting a bonus point win. But those scores came. They came because the players kept working hard, and they overcame the issues that they were having in the game, and they learned from them, moved on, and developed, and just got better and better. And I think it's an important thing for us to remember as a team. That the work you do early on will count at some stage. It may not feel like it's counting right there and then, but it is. And that's what we're getting very good at. We're getting very good at understanding that what we do in the first 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes often reaches full rewards in the second half. We
talked about it a minute ago, but winning has allowed you to sort of plot your course over these next few games as well, hasn't it?
It does a bit. I mean, obviously, the collection of points is what eases pressure. But we've also got to be careful that we're challenging ourselves all the time. And what will be good against Bristol is that there will be some new players involved. And they've got to go out there and they've got to up our standards, not let them slip. And it's the guys who we can watch in that challenge and watch them up in the stands will be the guys who'll be ultimately moving us forward week by week as we pick different teams as we move through the weeks down the line.
And Bristol, what are you expecting from them? They've got the likes of Radrada and Sinclair come in since lockdown.
Obviously, they've got a very talented squad. They themselves have played some really good rugby. They've collected the wins they want. I mean, it's going to be interesting tomorrow night. I mean, the weather forecast looks pretty horrific at the moment, doesn't it? Like 40-mile-an-hour winds and rain, and so that'll make it interesting in itself. That's why all we can really prepare for is we can't really prepare for the team that Bristol are going to pick because we don't know, like they don't know with us. And so really what it's about is focusing on yourself and what you want to take to the game. And we know what we want to focus on, what we want to bring to the game, and it's going to be the team that can manage that the best is probably going to come away with the result.